Grand rising, lovelies. How are we all doing? Well, I haven't been on for a while, so I decided that I'd come on and have a little chat with you today. As I'm being guided by God to be the mouthpiece for Him, I decided to just let things free flow. And I do have something I did want to talk about, which was managing our feelings and being okay with going through those levels of resistance and challenges that we meet every day. And it's something that I've sat with a lot in my life, and it's really helped me tune into those aspects of myself that sometimes I might not want to look at, or they're too scary, they're too confronting for me to even contemplate looking at. And this is something that I know you'll relate to, because it's pretty sort of standard throughout the whole world anyway. And it's being able to sit with your emotions and not project them onto others, and not feel like people are making you feel a certain way, because really it's a conscious choice, isn't it, in any given moment to feel a certain way, and then to be okay about feeling that way as well. I mean, that's one of the hardest things, I believe, is actually accepting the feelings that you have for just being yours, being something that you've created through this time space theory that we live in, this thing called life, that we're able to, like, amazingly feel a certain way at any time for any particular reason, but then to have the insight and the awareness that it's actually us creating it is next level stuff, because we often project our emotions and feelings onto those around us, because we're thinking that the environment's creating it. Well, we're the actual ones who's creating the environment by our process, by what we want to learn, the experience we want to have. So we project that out into the world, and that becomes our reality. So to have a look at what you're thinking about as well, in these times, because everything that comes through us, through our emotions, is actively created by a thought process. It's actively pursued by value, by desire, by a will to have something become of us, so that we actually inspire ourselves to look at those emotions and feelings in a different level of light, in a different way, so that we can decipher and we can come to a real relationship with ourselves, something that fulfills us, that supports us, that encourages us, that ultimately loves us, because the relationship we have with ourselves is the relationship we have with others. It's happening for us, because of us. Hopefully it's with us, not without us. Oftentimes it is without, because we lose ourselves in that emotional downward spiral of fear and not being met. And we have to meet ourselves in that. We have to really see ourselves for who we are, be openly, be just so open that it's so raw, that it's vulnerable, that we're able to dive to the depths of despair, of solitude, and then rise up like the phoenix who rises up, the reborn, the death and rebirth cycle of life that's ever present with us. It's a cycle of nature, of the elements, of everything really. So yeah, having that dance, sitting with ourselves and contemplating and deliberating and reaching a point a point or a time in space, a time in reality that we can actually be okay with. Yeah, okay, I'm feeling this way for a reason. I chose to feel this way so that I can move past these blockages and these injuries and this trauma that I'm feeling, that I'm, you know, reliving. So yeah, I just want to come on this, talk to you about that this morning, as it's been coming up in my life the last few days, and I've sat with it as well. I've come to a good place, come to a place of acceptance, of honour, of trust. And to get to those places, I had to surrender to the will of God, to the will of something bigger than me, bigger than I, bigger than you, bigger than us, bigger than Kevin. And when I do that and get out of my own way, that's when I see the real miracles in my life. That's when I see magic happen for me. And that's when I'm in a state of bliss, of joy, of complete contentment, complete acceptance, complete love for who I am. And that's a whole new level of awesomeness that I call living life on purpose. You know, being truthful with yourself, being real, being open, being honest, and loving ourselves, loving our neighbour, loving the Holy Spirit, universe, creation, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, that thing that's bigger than you, bigger than I, bigger than me, bigger than us, bigger than we. So embrace that part of you that is a bit unsure at times. It doesn't know, it's somewhat unaware, but as you hone into that and trust and encourage and support and hold that container for yourself, you'll be able to hold it for others, and you'll find that you'll get people come into your life who support you in that role, who want to be part of that with you, who want to share that with you, share the beauty of who you are and the beauty of what you give and how you turn up every day. There's lots of us out there who see that in each other, so keep supporting that, keep encouraging it, keep being part of that growth to discovering who you are and why you're here. Because when you do it, you create happiness, you create joy, and you create a connection with yourself and with those around you. So on that note, from this heart to your heart, have the best day ever. Signing off from Terrigal on the central coast of New South Wales, here in Australia. Have a look. This is the Skillion up the top there. And going back round to Terrigal. Have the best day ever, guys. Keep smiling and keep being you. I love you. Mwah.